What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Delta, where we look for the movers and shakers in the military and veteran gaming community. Look for the folks that are making the lives of just everybody better. They're veterans, they're civilians, they're active duty. It doesn't matter. We look for everybody. This podcast been going on for a while. If you see our videos, please like them on YouTube, drop some comments, subscribe. We've got 15 plus episodes out now. We release on a bi-weekly basis. They're tons of fun. We enjoy them. We're always looking for more content, more people. And our guest today is none other than the wonderful, amazing, fabulous Vincent Rocco Vargas. You may have seen him. He's on Mayans FX. He's done Range 15. He is the CEO of Veteran, just to name a few of his accolades, and he's got a whole lot more. Rocco, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. How are you doing today?
Yeah, buddy. Good, man. It's good to be home to be able to do this too. But I've been good, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see you got your room all set up, getting moving and shaking. You got so many projects in the works. You
Yeah,
just love to see it.
yeah. It's one of those things where I feel like if I slow down, I start feeling depressed. So it's more of a stay active, stay busy, keep my mind going, keep my mind engaged. Always kind of completing some kind of small task or mission.
Absolutely. That's a huge challenge in the mental health realm of staying busy, because if you're not busy, your mental health just goes in the tube. As most military, active duty vet, whatever, you're not staying busy, you leave the military and you just kind of fall apart. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. I think the big piece is you had a pretty solid military career. You were in the Rangers. What was it like for your transition getting out of the military?
It was a struggle like anyone else, I think. I was lucky. I believe I was a lot more fortunate than others because I had a family, because I have kids, because I had like genuine motivation to try and keep working and keep moving, or else they don't get to eat. They can't pay, you know what I mean? Can't pay the bills. So I guess without even thinking about it, that was a saving grace of mine. But I still struggle with FOMO, fear of missing out. I still struggle with alcoholism. I struggle with post-traumatic stress. I had a lot of I don't know, what do you call those? It's like a daydream. A lot of daydreaming out there because the mountains of Afghanistan kind of had a similar look to the mountains of you know Arizona, and some of the buildings they were building were some of these like almost like Haji style architecture, and it messed with me for a while. But yeah, so there was a struggle there, but I think the blessing was that I had these kids that I know needed me to financial support, and so that gave me a little bit more motivation than probably those who don't have that, right? I think that kind of kept me moving. I went to school full time, I was working full time, and it kind of had to pay the bills. The GI Bill I wasn't trying to get an education. I was trying to get my GI Bill to pay my bills. So I had to take my, my full 12 credits just so I can get the full stipend of what the GI Bill would pay me, just so we can survive off. We were making E5 pay and plus special operations team leader pay, in the Army, and they pay for all this other extra amenities that you don't put into account. And then when you get out, you kind of get stripped away of like, oh crap, I'm making $20 an hour, still doesn't cut what I was making in the Army, and so it was a rude awakening. But there was answers. I found answers to mitigate that, and then I continued to I guess block out some of the traumas I needed to deal with later on in life, and eventually they came showing their ugly face. So
Well, that kind of brought you into some of your first couple of projects, didn't it? You started the Drinking Bros podcast for a little while, and you were running with that.
yeah, it was um I was a prison guard for 2 years, and at the same time, simultaneously, I was a drill sergeant in the Army Reserves. So I went to drill sergeant school. That was like 5 or 6 months or some shit like that. Became special operations in the prison space and started helping with the standard operating procedures for like clearing rooms and stuff that they kind of didn't have. They didn't have a really good background in understanding violence of action, but as well as like safety mitigation. And so I went into the border patrol, and mind you, I'm still running and gunning, right? I'm still living this running and gunning life, this high stress environment, this, kick doors down and fuck people up kind of mentality. Even in the prison system, that's kind of how it was for me. I'll still, like, when there was a prison riot, it was like, let's go, you know what I mean? And sometimes I'd make a dangerous decision to jump into a room by myself with a bunch of dudes, but I kind of still thirst for that fucking craziness, and they didn't have a gun, so I didn't give a fuck, I was like, I've done worse, and it's kind of turns into this thing. But I think I was always kind of chasing some kind of adrenaline dump that was gonna kind of fulfill what I had in Iraq and Afghanistan. And so when I went to the Border Patrol, I did the same shit, man. I jumped into the Special Operations divisions and trying to put myself in positions that would cause chaos. I was like, I like to create that. If I knew that there was potentially a drug smuggling ring happening in this area, I was gonna fucking be there. And so, that was all kind of a toxic thing. And not saying that mentality is toxic, but I was doing it because I was struggling with post-traumatic stress. I was struggling with, assimilating into society. I was really wishing I died in combat. I was wishing, you know what I mean? Like, I had more value than just the dude that has to work just to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Having a purpose to die for was such a valuable thing for me at the time, because I think I suffered from so much trauma. I didn't have an answer for that besides find the most dangerous thing and jump at it. You know what I mean? At least you can die a hero. This weird mindset that I couldn't let go of. And eventually, by chance, I got laterally transferred into El Paso, and the same time as when I reconnected with Matt Best. And throughout the years, me and him were buddies anyways. He started doing business and he was selling t-shirts, and I connected him with a buddy of mine I grew up with that I used to print t-shirts with. And so the communication was always there. I started watching him do his thing with videos, and it was fucking funny. I'm busy fucking running around chasing fucking drug trafficking organizations and shit like that. But I was kind of a class clown my whole life, and I was a class clown in the Ranger Battalion as well. And so he was like, man, I'd love to have you on one of these videos. You've always been a funny dude. And as we started filming these videos, it was very natural and it was very fun. And he was really the first Ranger that I was in combat with, that I was able to reconnect with after all those years of just trying to find myself. And I didn't realize how much I needed that at the time. I didn't realize how much value it had in almost helping myself heal. I was still struggling from the guys that me and Matt Best lost. Matt Best was actually on target with Storm Bros and Storm Brim when they were killed. I was the one who was on the rear D, who did all the notifying and everything else. And so our circle kind of, me and Matt's circle is really, really tight in that sense. But, as we made videos, it became this thing where we both, I think, was like, man, that's fucking cool to be with your buddy and making these stupid ass fucking videos, and with Jared Taylor and everyone else. Right. And that's, yes. And then you fast forward, we ended up creating, I guess the camaraderie of that was so special to us and had so much value. And I think a lot of people who watched our videos online were like, fuck, that's so cool. That reminds me of my friends, right? The big guy's like this guy, and this is like my other buddy. And there's something so comfortable in watching guys do dumb guy shit for the community, and finding healing. And like, fuck, some guys got out of the military and are making it in a sense. Is why I believe we had a lot of success early, and why we continued to kind of develop things that we believed our community needed or wanted or thirst for. And so we did the Drinkin Bros group in the community, which was rooted in never let a veteran drink alone again. That's really where that came from. But, it kind of takes a life of its own once you start having 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, now currently over 100,000 people in a group. It's very hard to maintain the original, intentions of it. And you kind of let it, turn into what it is. And right now it's just a community of just whatever. There's just crazy stuff. There's fun stuff. There's cool stuff. There's community, and there's helping, and there's just anything you can think of there. It's there. Right. But we started the Drinkin Bros podcast as well. And that was another one of our like most honest buddy hangout moments that people really loved. Became, I believe it's the second fastest podcast in iTunes history to 1 million downloads, which is just a feat that, incredible, and so on and so forth. And it kept going. And eventually, again, life took another turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And it lets you do amazing things like the fabulous Range 15 movie, if nobody's ever seen it. But the movie, if you haven't seen Range 15, it's got more zombie slapstick than you can shake a stick at, and it was just
Yeah,
it was pretty hilarious. It was
it's
like
funny. If someone's not like an uptight person, you can find a lot of humor in that movie. A lot of
absolutely.
like silly, oh man, vulgar, yes, but like there's something so honest about the comedy in that's why I think our community is like it's kind of a cult classic in our community.
Absolutely. And you talk about growth. I mean, you've got Drinking Bros launched you into the Drinking Bros podcast, it launched you into Range 15, and then you've done another couple movies before. You were in some movies in the mix a little bit, and then you got into Mayans.
Yeah. Well, it's really I produced my own film. I produced a film called The Long Way Back, which is about kind of a visual and poetic representation of my struggles with transition, my struggles with understanding myself now after war, right? Like just a different dude, um and so that one is really kind of what opened the door. Range 15 is what motivated me to do more, and then The Long Way Back was kind of like, oh, I can do a lot more stuff than I thought, right? And so Range 15 showed me what being a real actor would essentially feel like, because it was really our own show. It wasn't genuine Hollywood in a sense where it was just us running our own fucking shit show, and it was fun, it was great, it was cool, but it wasn't authentic to the Hollywood I guess experience. And so then I did a independent film, a short one, and that was where I put it into some film festivals, did really well. And I ended up meeting a guy named Jamie Kaler, and Jamie Kaler is a 30-year actor in Hollywood. He's got a lot of experience. He asked us, me and Jared Taylor, to go to LA and film these Dads in Parks things. It was like this really improv comedy kind of concept. And so, I'm like open to anything that's in Hollywood to learn, and how can I get better. I did theater in college, so I have some experience. We've done YouTube now for almost 4 years at this point, and I've learned more from that. I've actually studied camera positioning, all these different things that you study because you want to be better at it. And then when I filmed my little short, I learned a lot more as well. Like, God, I'm starting to really understand what we're doing here. Me and my wife decided to fly down to LA again for another round of Dads in Parks and take a vacation. At the same time, we had the Mayans audition kind of fell in our lap, and genuinely just kind of like fell in my fucking lap. Like my buddy Steve Howie says, hey dude, they're looking for dudes and you have a good look. I think they would be interested. And at the time, I never had representation. I just got representation recently, just for the first time, because I'll explain that later. But no, I don't know what to fucking do. He's like, I need this. And I got everything together. I sent it to him. And, it really was, preparation meets opportunity. I've been prepping for this shit for a while. Don't know when the opportunity was going to present itself. It did. I showed up. I fucking nailed the audition. And I say nailed, I don't fucking know. I did good enough where they fucking liked it. You know what I mean? They gave me a chance. And here we are going into season 3. And I'm still in the fight, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This whole thing has been about growth and development, post-military, post-active duty. And you can just see literally the stages and the steps that you have taken to become a better veteran. And that, of course, leads right into you have your own company, Veteran,
yes,
which
sir.
is all about being the best version of yourself that you can be as a veteran, and getting rid of the old stigma of post-traumatic stress, folks that are just burned out, not having a good time with life, and just drinking or doing whatever, mental health issues in the toilet. And you've taken the concept, flipped it on its head, and are just making waves. So talk a little bit about the growth and just the build, and then forming Veteran, because I think Veteran was happening around the same time as Mayans, just in terms of your formulation, your thought process. The growth was happening the entire time. You've been on that path for years and years already.
Yeah, it's funny. Shampoo for You, a good buddy of mine, Jeff Hernandez, also a counselor that I see randomly whenever I need it. But he says post-traumatic growth is what you do, Rocco, and it's what you should be promoting more often. And I agree with that, right? Like, we all have post-traumatic stress based on, life and things, but we're here now talking about the post-traumatic growth and what comes after, and that sentiment alone is, I knew I wanted to, I stepped away from the guys back in 2000. It's like late 2015, early 2016, sometime or there, because it wasn't making sense anymore for my lifestyle. And when I say lifestyle, like, I'm fucking dad first, you know what I mean? And so dad wasn't able to travel as much. I wasn't able to fly to Utah to do podcasting. So since I didn't fly out to do podcasting, I was, my check was cut short. Okay, well then that doesn't make sense anymore, because when that check cut short, I can't even pay for the flight, and I can't even pay for the babysitting. So Drinkin Bros doesn't make sense anymore financially for me. Boom, done, gone. Next, right? A lot of the marketing of Article 15 got pushed into Black Rifle Coffee. Well, I don't own Black Rifle Coffee. Okay, so then Article 15 is business was going down slowly. Well, then that hurts me again. Single dad, or dad just dealing with my kids and family and everything else, financially doesn't make sense anymore. So a lot of things just weren't making sense for me, and I felt like, well, I have to start worrying about me, right? It was like what is healthiest for Vince Vargas? And it was like, well, fucking anything that's going to pay the fucking bills. I was working with Derek Guida. It was, as much as it's a good fit, it's not a good fit, because Derek is his own thing. Derek is Derek, man. He's a fucking powerhouse in his world, and it's still not mine. I didn't want to be under the wing of other people doing what they want and just kind of spreading their message. As much as their message is dope and cool and all that shit, it's still not mine, and so conceptualizing where I wanted to go with in my life, and already been given the platform of social media, been given a voice. What was that fucking voice going to be, right? What the fuck was I going to give, I came up with the idea of veteran, and I didn't know what to fucking do with it, and I came up with all kinds of different little concepts. I kind of just stuck with the kind of whole Vinny Roc moniker, but Vinny Roc didn't have a message. Vinny Roc is Vince Vargas, just a cool name fucking behind it, right? Same as Rocco. Rocco's nothing but Vince Vargas, just a cool fucking name behind it. Nothing but the same old car with a new paint job, right? There's no fucking difference. And so I wanted to create something that had more value, that could be an entity of its own, that didn't need my face to be successful, and so veteran, I believe, was in a conversation with a good buddy named Bobby Gerhardt, and we were just talking, and I believe I accidentally fucking said it, like, I just want veterans to be better, and fucking these fucking veterans. And I was like, veteran, oh fuck, this is it. Boom. And I wrote it down, and I held that in my fucking phone, and I told my wife, I said, babe, I thought it was really cool concept. It's fucking veteran. She goes, I like it. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what to fucking do with it. And so it sat in my fucking phone, and I had notes of like, maybe a book called Veteran, maybe this, maybe the speaking engagement I do, maybe my next talks are, maybe my talk in 2020 were going to be Veteran, or 2019 at the time, Veteran. All these ideas, and nothing came to me. And then I started watching, these Diesel brothers fucking kicking ass on these giveaways, and I started doing research and seeing what they were doing, and I'm like, man, I don't know what they're doing with their money, but I know what I would do if I had the money. I'd build better transition centers, right? I'd build a better foundation. When it comes down to the root of like, how do you fucking save veterans' lives, right? Like, this is where it went. I thought about the problem of the overlining, like, all right, this big black cloud over our fucking heads, suicide for veterans and mental health. How do we fix that? Well, the other thing on that same token is alcoholism, right? And so all these fucking issues, but the root of all this stuff to me is always going to be trauma. We got to fix the trauma. Whatever this trauma is why people act the way they do, right? And so how do you fix trauma? Well, it's more than just counseling. It's also blood work. It's also brain mapping. It's also, it's the list of things. It's also finances. It's also relationships. It's also, it's a kind of a full circle thing. And the nonprofits that give you sports like mine is only a Band-Aid, right? Nonprofits that give you running, nonprofits that give you horseback riding, nonprofits that do all these things. Like, people need to realize those are all a band-aid, and those are good. We need those too, right? Those need to exist. You need to have a community outside the military. You need to find your tribe. But if everyone in your fucking tribe is broken, you're not getting better. You know what I'm saying? And so in this sentiment is like, how do we fix the tribe? And then they can go off and do whatever the fuck they enjoy, right? And there is where veteran starts. And so in that answer, in this whole thing, veteran became more than just a business. It became a mindset. It became a movement and a change in the healthy direction for the community. Positive mindsets. If you look at the shirts, there are fucks to give, uphill hustle. That's uphill hustle. Think about that. Uphill sucks. Hustle is just movement. We're going towards the fucking fight. You know what I mean? Fucks to give. All these dudes are like, oh, no fucks to give, bro. Wait, you should actually have all the fucks to give. You should give a fuck. Plain and simple, right? Better half. That's a relationship shirt. My wife is my better half. I say that because she's my biggest support system in my life. You know what I mean? Just veteran, becoming a better veteran, fucking just the concept alone. It's trying to get guys to think in a more positive light and push themselves in a positive way. There's a body and soul to this, right? The body is the business, the shirts, the gear, the mindset. The soul of this is like programs that we've created that we're starting to implement. I have a guy who is going to take charge of the Phoenix program, which is just tangible actions dailies for veterans, like getting guys to just complete small missions for themselves daily. Once he's 100% happy with that program, he'll be launching that with me. I do a texting messaging. I'll probably start one again March 1st. I text 25 veterans for fucking 30 days. It's called 25 for 30. And it is a morning and evening motivational fucking text, whether it be lessons learned in life, self-accountability, fucking, 30 days sober. I don't care what it is. I have a program I've developed. We're fine-tuning, tweaking it to make sure that it is going to be inspiring and motivating guys for 30 days to get their ass up and do more, right? There is a 365 sober. It's an initiative that I'm trying to go to active duty buildings and get them to, when guys get out, get them to sign the initiative to stay sober for 365 days. Whether anyone does that or not, that's their choice. It is saying you want to save your own life. You want to be 10 times more successful than you ever would have been. Take drinking out of the equation for 365 days. Get mentally, emotionally, physically healthy first before you start introducing alcohol to your system. You want to see success? Change the mindset of drinking. You want to see success? Stop telling your fucking soldiers that's what we do, right? And people are like, oh, wow, this guy's a pussy because he doesn't drink. No. No, I'm successful because I don't drink, right?
Absolutely. It's just one of those things. You look at it, you see all the things that you're doing, and it's mind-boggling for, I would say, for veterans out there that see this and all of the things that you're highlighting. Anybody that's questioning themselves and what's going on and the things that they have done in the past but want to do in the future, and anybody that's going to hear this, I sincerely hope and want to think that somebody's going to say, we're going to get a couple holy shits out of this and say, hey, let's make some changes. So we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna get you, drop your social links for us.
Yeah.
Of if folks want to get a hold of Vincent Rocco Vargas, where are they gonna go?
Yeah, Twitch is Vinny Roc, right? VINNY ROC. And I have several. I'll get you all my my whatever they're called numbers.
Your social links.
Yeah, all my links. But Vinny Roc, you can find me. You can Google it. If you just put Vinny Roc on Twitch, and they'll find the link for you. At the same time, my social media, you have Vincent.Rocco.Vargas is my Instagram. That's really where I'm probably the most active. If you want to message me there. I'll find it. I have a team of people help me in everything I do. So if I don't find it, someone else will. You can even go to veteran.com. You can go to on Instagram. Again, if you message on any of those, someone will find it, get it to me, and I'll reply back. Most of the time, I just tell people like, here, just give me a call, and I'll give you my direct number because I don't give a fuck, right? Anyone could call me. It doesn't matter. If someone starts bugging me, I'll block them. Who cares? So I am open and there for you. You could reach out to me and talk to me almost at any time, and that's what's so, to me, important is like I'm not hiding behind all these social media fucking things. If you want to talk to me, I'll give you my number. We can talk directly. Time is money. So it's like, respect my time. I will just fucking give you what I need. And I'll say, go work on this. I've done it for a lot of people, but I say this now on here because don't be afraid of reaching out to me. There's a lot of people probably think I'll never answer. I get almost every single message. I know you'll probably never see this. No, I fucking see all of them. And I reply to every single one of them. And
he does answer every single one of them, folks.
Yeah. And so if you need something, give me a call. I don't give out money, but I'll give you answers on how to make money. Let's do it. You let me know.
All right. Wonderful. Rocco, thank you so much. This has been another episode of Whiskey Delta. I'm Mike Karnowski, a.k.a. Devil. We got into the details with Vincent Rocco Vargas. The man is fabulous, fantastic. He's an author. He is an actor. He is a veteran. If you want to get in touch with him, please reach out. Find some more out about his programs that he's got, about veteran, about the things he's got going on behind the scenes. Check it out. Take some life lessons away from this, please, and make yourself better. Please do it up. Thank you again for joining us today. We appreciate you, Rocco.
All right.